Good Sunday afternoon to you from the Center for Spiritual Living Pleasant Valley's Sunday service. I'm Reverend Pam Geagan. Enjoy the service.
Good Sunday, everybody. I'm Reverend Lynn Chaplain-Noe, and you are at the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. And we have a full house today. Of course, we have our spiritual leader, Reverend Pam Geagan, and our assistant minister, Betty Ann Brennan, and Buzz Noe is going to tell us what the buzz is. Pamela Bailey, our lead practitioner. Bill Rotella is our musical inspiration today. And of course, our discussion today has very special guest, Lissa Coffey. So she'll be discussing all kinds of things with Reverend Pam. And so we do have a vision here at the Center for Spiritual Living, and that is awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And how we do that is teaching and demonstrating spiritual principles for living an abundant and fulfilling life in a welcoming and compassionate community. And here are our flames of faith. We believe that there is one source and many paths to that source. We honor all faiths, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Sufism, and all the other isms that step forward in love. There is that one fine thread that connects all, that realigns all the religions, and that thread is love. We come from love, we are love, and we honor our oneness within all. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Betty Ann Brennan with her quote for the day.
Hello there. These are the words you can depend on today and throughout the week. I release all fears and hesitations, for I know that God supports my thoughts and my actions. God only says yes. And to help us further open our minds to that, I'm introducing Pamela Bailey, our lead practitioner, with the opening.
Thank you very much. So if you will, with the brilliant things we've already heard, the wonderful song and seeing those flames of faith, let us turn our attention within into that place where we do connect with that divine, with that source of all life, and knowing that there is that one source, and that source is present right here, right now, fully and available to me and available to each and every one of us. So as I connect and release for the moment all of the things that are busying me or pulling my attention in other directions, I just focus on that divine light within, that sense of well-being, knowing that it is all unfolding perfectly. And I move into that space of gratitude, for this week is the week that our country has a holiday to celebrate gratitude. And this is an unusual time. And yet there are always things we could be grateful for in this moment. So this moment, I choose to be grateful for my life. I choose to be grateful for the many wonderful people here present and the people in my life. I choose to be grateful for the family that I'm in communication with and I won't be with this holiday. I choose to be grateful for all of the things that are happening, for those who are doing good, for those who are sharing, for those who are stepping up in kindness and grace during this time. And I celebrate those good things that there are to celebrate. And when I look for them, I find more and more. Today, there's much to celebrate, and we're going to hear a new song, and we're going to have a wonderful conversation that we get to listen in on. And that's just in this broadcast. So this day, this beautiful Southern California day, I give great thanks for life itself and for this lesson today, that we are speaking of power and truth and how they relate, knowing that each of us has within us that power, and also we have access to that truth. So in gratitude for all of this, and in gratitude for this day and for every person here watching, I am grateful, and I am just knowing that all is well and it is unfolding perfectly. And in that space of gratitude, I release this, knowing it is done. And together, if you're there, we say, and so it is. And I believe Reverend Pam takes it away.
And so it is. It is my joy to announce Buzz Noe with What's the Buzz?
Thank you, Reverend Pam. I am Buzz Noe, and here are the announcements. So on Thursday this week, we will celebrate Thanksgiving because gratitude is vital for providing good living. So give thanks to God in every possible way as we review the announcements for today. At 9 a.m. weekdays on Facebook Live, Reverend Pam's morning meditations will help you to thrive. Gratitude Experiment is the theme for this week. It will give you the spiritual connection you seek. Writers Group meets live at the center tomorrow from 7 to 9 p.m. with some ideas that you can borrow. If an outlet for creativity is something that you seek, it's a good start to attend the Writers Group this week. At 7 p.m. on Thursday night, our Facebook Live tune-up will shine some light. Savina Altanova is the host for this week's session. Peace Resides Within is the title of her lesson. This pandemic crisis is a challenge indeed, but our center is here to help you succeed. You can call and give us a request for prayer, or email or message us from just about anywhere. We're always here for you, so please let us know what we can do. A reminder that until it is safe to re-enter, please continue to donate to our center. Your donations will keep our center going, so we can be here to keep your wellness flowing. Two other places where you can lend a hand. Please do give them whatever you can. Ventura County Rescue Mission provides the homeless with much good, and Ventura County Food Share feeds the needy in our hood. Another way to help our center do fine is to use Amazon Smile when you shop online. When you complete the purchase page for the items you got, it will donate to our center right on the spot. And finally, have a very happy Thanksgiving this week. Gratitude will bring you the blessings you seek. And that's it for the announcements. So thanks for listening. I hand you now back to Reverend Pam to keep you listening.
Oh, thank you, Buzz. You know, this is what it's always my favorite. How you rhyme everything. I always look forward to. I laugh while you're on. And just thank you for being such a joy with What's the Buzz? The best announcements any place I've ever heard. So now it is my honor to introduce Daniel Naiman with a song called Empty Hands. And it's, to me, it speaks about the truth. It's the only thing that is, and that we need to be open and receptive to truth, listening deeply. So listen to Daniel Naiman and his song, Empty Hands.
When my hands were emptied, when my hope was gone. I couldn't help but wonder, what had I done wrong? But even though my heart was broken, there was no need to despair, 'cause a vessel must be open to put something better there. Oh yeah. Into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand, you needed my empty hands. So forgive me when I doubt it, I admit sometimes I do, or consider giving up, 'cause I cannot see the truth. I know I'll never go without your deep and abiding love. Oh, love. Into my empty hands, gently you pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. Now I understand, you needed my empty hands. Gently pour new life for me. Yours is a perfect plan. The ups and the downs were meant to be. And I cannot help but cry to think of the gifts you've given me. Now I understand, you needed my empty hands. Oh, thank you for thank you for thank you for my empty hands.
And now it is my honor to welcome our wonderful Reverend Betty and our assistant minister as our practitioner of the day.
Hello, everybody. You're all getting ready for that wonderful Thanksgiving Day. I think it's appropriate here. You're talking about power today. So I looked up a few things that reflect what I think. I noticed in my looking for quotes recently that Marcus Aurelius comes up a lot. He had to have been a religious scientist with his viewpoints. And about power, he said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Wonderful. That's where it's all at, in the mind. And this one, no one is you, and that is your power. That's by Vivek Source. That's our power. What do we do with power? It's not something to force. Actually, it's the power to hold on the subject, to clarify your own mind. And once you've clarified it, use your own power to keep that idea alive and growing and bringing you eventually what you're really desiring. And it's because that brings you to this one. Self-confidence is a superpower. Once you start to believe in yourself, magic starts happening. I can really attest to that because there was a time in my life where I felt inferior to anybody and everything that came around. And I began to court that idea that first that I was good, I was okay. And just thinking about wonderful things and away we go doing. But that self-confidence, that is so important because you can't have power and weakness at the same time. So remember that. Work on your own self-confidence. And then finally from Ernest Holmes, he says, all the power of the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act though it were true. I think that's so important to, in the face of all that's going on, to hold in our own mind the idea of the actions we want to be, we want to see, because the future is what you and I are going to turn our minds to and what we're going to give energy to. And there's nothing more wonderful than to enjoy the power, personal power we have that's available to affect the entire world. And so let's just solidify that with the centering treatment and know that the power of the universe is right here where I am. And I am that power because of our unity. And in this time of great testing of us all, it is that mind power that sees us through and makes the changes. Already we have created much. And so we dwell upon the new things that are coming. These are direct ideas from the infinite and meant to move us from this position to the next one of beauty. This is the week to be thankful, to be grateful. Think on those things. Can you go moment by moment in gratitude? Can you really be all that feeling of perfection? I think so, because that's what I'm taught. And so I know in this morning, as we gather here together, as the words are spoken, new ideas come into mind and power is given to those ideas. We are so grateful to have this teaching, to be this person, to be in this virtual center and have wonderful comradeship across these wonderful lines of the internet. So I give great thanks for that internet keeping us together. And so as I move on into the day, I take with me all that I have learned, and I seek out and find in today's service that message made for me, and there's one made for you too. So in deep gratitude, I release these words to perform their magic throughout the day. And in just concluding it, I say, and so it is. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a buddy, the king of the guitar and the master of songs, Bill Rotella.
I got to follow that again. Hey, thank you, Betty. That was beautiful. Thank you. So, with all this mania going on, it doesn't make sense to me. It's hard to digest it sometimes. But what does make sense to me is love. So, and those are the feelings that just make sense. Like I understand that. The other stuff I don't understand. So I wrote this song 2 days ago, and I'm going to play it for you. This is called "Only Love Is Real." There's a reason for the way I feel. Everything is so unreal. We are only passing time, dancing with this gift of time, moving to a ray of light, trying till we get it right. Love is what I want forever. It happens when we come together. Trying you will find only love is real. Let it open up your mind. Only love is real. Waiting for you day and night. Only love is real. Playing like a song divine. Only love is real. Step outside the confusion. Leave behind the delusion. It's the reason I'm living for. It's the key for every door. It's a feeling of endless time. This feeling is yours and mine. I need you to understand myself. I need everyone and no one else. There's room for you at the table. We're breaking bread, feeling grateful. Trying you will find only love is real. Let it open up your mind. Only love is real. Waiting for you day and night. Only love is real. Singing like a song divine. Only love is real. Step outside the confusion. Come and find the solution. Only love is real. Only love is real. Only love is real. Only love is real.
Oh, thank you. You are such an amazing, creative, prolific songwriter. I want to come back with your brain, or I want to take you the old joke. What are you taking? I want some of it to get that creative flowing, because that is amazing. And you just gave our talk. So thank you so much.
You know what's cool? My cousin called me this morning, and he's a songwriter in New Jersey. He's like, we're like almost like twins, but he said the same thing. He's a super spiritual guy, and he was just saying it's interesting what people are doing with their time. And so we choose. These are choices we make. What do we do with our time? I can either watch reruns or play golf, which I don't do. I can't do that. Thanks, man. Yeah.
Oh, anyway, thank you for sharing your gift. It's wonderful, Bill. Thank you so much. And now this is wonderful because I'm introducing a really wonderful friend of Bill Rotella's too. And it's our Lissa Coffey in our conversation today on speaking power into truth. And I just want to thank Dr. Sue Rubin too for giving us that title, that twist of phrase. Instead of truth into power, it's power into truth. And so Lissa, thank you so much for being with us.
Of course, it's Sunday. I'm so happy to be here.
It's wonderful to have you with us, honey. And I just want to also say that your class this morning, Lissa she is so many things. She is also a prolific writer and a relationship expert. And there's so many things, and TV, film expert. But also you are a Vedanta teacher, and it means a lot to us in our community. So it's a perfect day to have you on all together with Bill and everybody and all of our practitioners. So it is speaking truth into power. And what that means to me is that truth remains the same. And so we might as well use our power, like Bill said, which was so interesting, to make our choices into that which we know, that happiness is us, joy is us. And you mentioned that this morning in your lesson, so to speak, about it's always there. It's our veils that we pull over our eyes, that we don't tune into who we are, into that truth. And I just want to tell you also, and then I want to hear all from you. But you know, it is so interesting. After I chose this talk, speaking power into truth, I came across the Los Angeles Times article that just published about Paramahansa coming to America 100 years ago. And you talk about power and how he listened to his intuition. He didn't want to come to America, but he kept saying he kept hearing in his meditations, go to America, go to America. And that was in 1920. And so he listened deeply and he acted and he created self-realization, which we all know is swept the world. And it is still one of the largest it's getting more people involved than anybody else right now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful practice. It's based on the philosophy of yoga, and specifically Kriya Yoga is what he teaches. And Kriya is like concentration, and it's all about meditation and returning to source and looking within. And yeah, he was a brilliant teacher. And Vedanta actually is a more than 5,000-year-old practice that has the same roots as in yoga. It's just a little bit different. They're both like based on the Hindu philosophy. So it's ancient, but I think what people are finding is that these truths, which were truth way back then, apply today. And we need to realize that more than ever with all the different struggles that we're going through. So yeah, Vivekananda learned from Swami Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna, who was a saint back in India. And he was actually an avatar. So a lot of people think of him as God incarnate. So Swami Vivekananda learned from him, and he brought Vedanta to the West in like 1902. He actually came over for the Parliament of Religions in Chicago and spoke there. And when it was kind of the first time, you know, because you have to travel by boat back in those days. It was really difficult to get around. It wasn't just like you hop on a plane, and they certainly didn't have Zoom or anything like that. So this was something very new to Westerners at the time. And he started his talk by saying, "Sisters and brothers of America." And the whole crowd came to its feet and just was like, yes, we get you. We're brothers and sisters. We're all in this together. And they just embraced him with so much love right then. And it's, you know, when someone speaks truth, you recognize it. You know it in your bones that this is truth. And they embraced him and just accepted him with so much love. It was wonderful.
Yeah, you know that and what and it's all it is as in self-realization is that Kriya Yoga, as you said, which was the scientific approach to yoga, and absolutely transcending going into truth, because there is only the one truth, that scientific approach. And Vivekananda did that too. And ultimately, what he not only brought was his teaching, but his whole beingness into all of this. And I just want to say that both of these men, and then I'm going to go back because I want to know more about Vivekananda, but specifically Paramahansa Yogananda, when he was here, what did he do? He came and he befriended some of the greatest spiritual teachers who believed in the oneness. That was Ernest Holmes. They were friends. Manly P. Hall, who had the spiritual, the Psychic Spiritual Institute or whatever it was. And also Helena Blavatsky, who founded, the Crotona Institute. And also people like Amy Simple McPherson was taken by both of these men in that oneness. And they developed from their teachings, from Vivekananda and also Paramahansa Yogananda, the power of scientific prayer. And it was really interesting when I was reading all about this, and when he came over to Boston, Paramahansa Yogananda and then Vivekananda. Tell us more about how he swept through and also created such a large following.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is, just like you said, how people of different faiths agree on truth, because truth is universal. That's one of the principles of this universe. Truth is universal. And that's why we recognize it when we see it. And it doesn't really matter which faith you are, which religion you are. Truth is truth is truth is truth is truth, right? So I think when Vivekananda came to America, and of course it was quite a hardship at that time, but it was an adventure, because he was bringing us truth in a different way than we had seen before. So he came to, into the port of New York, and then he made his way to Chicago, and he had so much faith. He came over here basically with no money, and he was just like, I'm just going to let God guide me and see what happens. He knew this Parliament of Religion was taking place in Chicago. Somehow he got the date wrong, and he was like a week early or something. He didn't have money to stay anywhere, so he just sat on a bench on the sidewalk and said, okay, God, take care of me. I did my part. I arrived. I showed up. Now what? And an American woman was in the apartment nearby and saw him out the window, this strange monk in an orange garb that obviously wasn't from that area in Chicago at the time. And she went out and said, hello, can I help you? What are you doing here, kind of thing? And he explained what was going on. And she said, come on in. I know about this Parliament and what's going on. And she basically gave him a place to stay and introduced him to people. And before he even gave his big talk, he was meeting people in the city and kind of establishing a following right then and there. So, the divine guided him to where he needed to be. And then, of course, he was such a sensation at the Parliament of Religions. Everybody loved him so much that he started getting talks booked all across the country and started his whole journey.
In America, yeah. And what is, when I think of America, I always think it is the land of new birth and opportunity. And so new ideas, we especially if you're from California, especially, but we love creativity. We love the newness. But all of it goes back to that knowing, as you said, that Vivekananda had. I think I read a story about him. You can correct me, where when he landed, just like that woman who took care of him and in his orange garb, and who else did he go? Who else was like that? Ram Dass. When he went to India, he wanted to know how they thought and everything, but he didn't want to give up acid. He didn't want to give up LSD. And then his guru, I think it's Meher Baba, literally, he said Meher Baba knew all about him. And then he handed Meher Baba all of his acid tabs, and he took like 30 and it didn't change him at all, because Meher Baba knew who he was beyond that body. Anyway, when Vivekananda came, and then when Ram Dass came, this was the association, came back from India, and his father greeted him from the plane. He had long hair, a beard, wearing the orange garb, and his father, who was really a very wealthy man, I think with railroads or oil or something, literally got back into the limousine. He was afraid of him when he got Ram Dass. But Ram Dass again swept the country with who he had become in his revealing. Vivekananda also, I think I read a story where everywhere he went, he saw souls he had known before in previous lives. He saw souls that came from that truth, and he knew he should be exactly where he was.
Yeah. And, it's not like it was easy for him. The food was a problem for him because, the body is just not used to all these foreign things. And the weather was a problem for him. Everything was a problem. But he got beyond that and was like, I'm here to do the work. And the work is to share this message that you are eternal. And it's the truth. Here's one of his great quotes that I love, because, he was talking about this back in, Yogananda was talking about it in the 20s and on, and in the 1900s. And, this is a 5,000-year-old practice, Krishna and everybody talks about this. There's no time and space and spirit. Truth, this is what he said. All truth is eternal. Truth is nobody's property. No race, no individual can lay any exclusive claim to it. Truth is the nature of all souls. So here we are kind of waking up to this truth. We weren't here 5,000 years ago. We weren't here in 1900. We're kind of newbies to this. But when we discover it, we recognize it. And it's like that aha moment where we can wake up to it. Wake up to the truth and understand who we really are and the power we really have.
And it is amazing. And so I think what you said earlier was so true, is to know who you are, the authentic self. And that is the greatest, that is what you need to do. And once you know that power is in and through and as you, and your own unique fingerprint of God, as I say, is what you're supposed to reflect on this planet, is when that happens, then that power, you understand how you are to hold the high watch, do the integrity. And when your thoughts come that are those embracing oneness thoughts, think them clearly, speak them with clarity also. You have the vision, the thought. The words are so important because you are speaking your truth into power that is exponentially growing beyond what we may see, beyond the veil, as you said, of not seeing the happiness that you are. And that veil absolutely clouds everything until you go back to that place of power, that ecstasy when it comes to you, and you get it, so to speak, or at least you think at least I think I do sometimes, maybe nanoseconds, but it is ecstasy, and that's what you want more of. That's what you want more and more and more of all the time.
Yep, absolutely. And we need to take that even a step further. Like when we know who we are, then we also know who everyone else is, even if they don't know it for themselves. So when we see that divine within them, that helps to empower them. It helps us to see that we're all in this together and we're here to help each other learn and grow. So we treat people differently when we know who they are. And we also react differently when we know who they are, because we know that they could say any harmful, hurtful, whatever phrase to us. They could try to harm us, but we know that in reality, we are unharmable.
Yes.
We are the truth. We are the divine truth. And that they must be the one hurting to lash out like that. So we can totally shift the paradigm. Instead of being the victim, we can rise above and see it from a higher level and send them love and compassion and hope and prayers that they awaken and see who they truly are too, so that they can love themselves.
Yes. And Bill Rotella was talking earlier about the great divide that our country apparently has. And well, it's always been there. But what the truth is that when you recognize whatever side of the divide you're on, that if you can open up and just love unconditionally, and be who your truth is. And I have my guidelines. I always say they're very simple. You do the highest and best for all. And if it's unifying, then I'm in. But when whoever comes to me and is trying to divide my attention span, and for those who are on the Zoom call, Spencer, our sound guy, was at Home Depot, and someone was trying to change his mind about, wearing masks and everything. And when you embrace them and say, I honor you, I'm compassionate, and obviously there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of energy there, but I don't have to buy into that different opinion. Doesn't matter what the opinion is, because I know my truth. I'm centered in the truth, and my truth comes from that unconditional wisdom and love that has been with us throughout all the sages throughout the ages. People, when they were in the presence of those sages, many times just cried and wept because they recognized, whether it was Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, they just recognize that energetic presence that just said yes to truth.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, you don't have to give them preach to them or anything, because what are you going to get in a debate? So it's just kind of like, you do you, I'll do me, that kind of thing, you do you, I'll do me. Remember back in the 70s, there was a book, I'm okay, you're okay.
Yes.
I think that's the thing, is wherever you're at, that's okay. I don't need to try to change you. You're on your path. You've got your karma. It's all good. But at the same time, I have my boundaries. Don't try to, take away my good mood, because I know what's fleeting, and I could still feel anger, knowing it'll go away or whatever, or whatever comes and goes. But at the heart of all that is the truth, which is this pure bliss, existence, consciousness, bliss. That's the truth. That's it.
I agree 100%. And so as I close out on this Thanksgiving, then I want you to close too, honey, on this Thanksgiving Day, or this week, this gratitude week. I am so grateful for it all, because how boring it would be without it. I mean, and it's there for us to waken up to it. And so every thought that it comes to me that I question or makes me angry or anything else, I'm not putting my head in the sand. I'm not saying, oh, God is, I am, and I don't have to deal with this. But in a way, I am knowing that truth, and dealing with it is something that becomes, it's not even dealing, it's embracing it all, and recognizing when I'm hurting, when someone else is hurting, and just loving everyone right where they're at. And that's a big task, but that's what it's all about. And I'm grateful for everything that brought about this idea of expressing gratitude on a day. And it doesn't matter how some of the stories have been, changed now. I say one of the biggest things recently is all our history is it's real history, because it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's the truths of how we all got where we are, and how we respond to what is happening around us has also been skewed, and we bought into a lot of that. So when I see truth and know truth in my heart of hearts, I am so grateful. So I'm grateful for it all, and I'm grateful for everyone, and I'm grateful for you. And I turn this over to you, Lissa.
Yeah, and I am grateful for you and for this whole community. It's amazing. And we just have to remember that we have to find our willpower and our, mental power to remember the truth, to tap into that truth. But when we do, that truth then gives us strength. And Swami Vivekananda said, it is truth alone that gives strength. That's know who you are, and that realization that Yogananda was talking about too, that self-realization is realizing who you are, gives us strength. And it's the strength that was there all along. It's not a new strength. It's not like we have to, work out and now I'm strong and I wasn't before. You were always strong. There was just something covering it up that you didn't know.
I love that. And I want you to also tell us one more time about, in class, one time you were saying how we are reflections of the perfections, and it was looking in the pails of water, how the oneness, and yet we are unique.
Yeah, so we all think we're, these little individual beings, but we don't recognize our truth is the sun. So the analogy is the sun is like all of us. That's the truth there. But then you see these buckets on the ground. Each one is filled with water. That, represents our body, mind, the bucket and the water. And what do you see in the buckets? You see all the little suns. And so you look at the bucket. How many suns are there? Oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Those are reflections of the sun. You take a bucket, pour out the water, kick the bucket, literally kick the bucket. How many suns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. One sun. There is one sun always. That is the truth. And that is who we are. It's reflected in our body, mind, but that's who we are. That's who everyone is.
Thank you so much, honey. I love you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being with us. And I would like to promote also your, on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on on your Zoom channel, there you have your class, and it is so wonderful.
Just once a month.
Oh, fourth Sunday. Yes, every fourth Sunday. Yes. And yes. Yeah. Okay, and now it is my honor to introduce once again our wonderful Bill Rotella.
Hey, that was awesome, Lisa.
Thank you.
That was really, really good. I got to jump in there with you for a minute because, the other day, last night actually, I had some funk arrived, via a person, right? And I was listening to the conversation going, okay, this is just, and then I was processing it, and, the title of the song, Only Love Is Real, I just kept going there as my mantra, just to go, that's their thing. Like you said, that's their funk. It ain't mine, whatever. I'm okay. You're okay. Whatever. And I'm telling you, I got myself away from that thing. And I started, when I was working on the song, I just came up with that lyric because the reality is everyone's going through stuff. These are crazy times, and we have to be tolerant. We have to be patient. We have to be forgiving, all that stuff. Yeah. And we need them to understand ourselves. I mean,
and when you say only love is real, that is the truth. Like we're talking about love, truth, God, those are all synonyms.
Yep. Yeah. And so I realized, you know what? No. It's not like it's a barometer, not like it's a measuring stick, but we need other people to see where we're at, which is, I didn't intend it, but that's a great segue for the song. So not only is America a young in the spiritual path, right? You're talking about, how America kind of awoke to Eastern religion, whatever, or thought. We as people, so I'm a late arriver. I'm late to the scene, but so I wrote the song about maybe 8 or 10 years ago when I just started kind of figuring it out. So this is that song. Every breath I'm in this moment,
It's not too soon, it's not too late. And I can see the trouble coming from behind. Where the final find the truth that lies inside my mind. O-G-A-O-G, today's the day. It's like a dream that finally come my way. O-G-A-O-G, today's the day. I've got no fear for tomorrow, and I'm free from yesterday. I freed myself so I could feel what I feel. My mind embrace. And I can feel it tremble when I come face to face with the truth that lies inside the love I was born to make. O-G-A-O-G, today's the day. It's like a dream that's finally come my way. O-G-A-O-G, today's the day. Got no fear for tomorrow, and I'm free from yesterday. Posso sentire il mio cuore che respira. Voglio sentirmi tenermente così. Tutti I giorni che ho vissuto senza amore. Ci sono delle guate per sempre. O-G-A-O-G, today's the day. It's like a dream that's finally come my way. O-G-A-O-G, today's the day. I've got no fear for tomorrow, and I'm free from yesterday. That's it. That's
Oh,
a little
yeah.
Italian. I meant to say that earlier, that in case you're wondering, I didn't. O-G-A-O-G means today is today.
Oh, you know, that was so perfect. And I love the part about being free, because the freedom allows you to be you and to go, oh, I thought that was fabulous. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, honey. And now it is my honor to introduce Reverend Lynn Chaplain Noe as she reads our offertory.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. And this is a great time of Thanksgiving. So if you want to repeat these words after me as our offertory, begin. Divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And that's the way it is. And so, yes, we are very, very grateful for you, all of you who contribute so much to our lives here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley. And thank you for watching our Sunday services. If you feel like you've received value from this experience, please support our ministry with a tax-deductible donation and visit our website at www.csl-pleasantvalley.org. We accept PayPal and Zelle. And your sacred donations are more than ever appreciated, as our beautiful center still resides right there where it always is for the first time that we all meet in person. But until then, you can mail your donations to us, and that is CSL Pleasant Valley, 221 East Daly Drive, Suite number 1, Camarillo, California, 93010. Our website again is www.csl-pleasantvalley.org, and our email is cslpleasantvalley@gmail.com. And that's also where you can request spiritual mind treatment, prayer, or just a consultation with our ministers or our wonderful practitioners. And so now it is my pleasure to send you back to our beloved Reverend Pam Geagan.
Speaking of beloved, thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much. And it is time for our closing treatment. And I just want to thank you all so much in this week of gratitude for all your generosity of spirit, of your time, talent, treasure. It supports what I call truth, that spirit that resides within. So as we go into that closing treatment, I just want us to relax in and connect with that truth, which I call God. And as Lissa said so beautifully, it is synonymous with love. So let us take those 3 breaths in, and you can use whatever name you want, Krishna, Buddha, Elohim, Allah, whatever it is, Krishna, just breathing in with God is on the in-breath, and I am on the out-breath, and 2 more silently. And so in this truth, in this beingness, in this oneness, I am so grateful that I am awakened, aware, alert, and I realize how powerful I am, that I am that wonderful aspect of the divine being itself. And in that divinity of who I am, I vision clearly, I find the perfect words in my mind. I speak those perfect words, my absolute power into that truth that just says yes. And what outpictures is the highest and best. I don't have to have all the details. I'm just in the flow like the Tao. I am like water. And so I speak my intentions, knowing that the highest and best of everything and everyone, all life on this planet is being well served. I open my heart, my mind. I embrace it all, and I call it good and very good. And as I let this go, together we say with great, great gratitude, and so it is. And so it is. I want to say goodbye to all of you. Thank you so much, Lissa, for being with us. You can all wave goodbye. Our wonderful Betty Ann Brennan, our assistant minister, Rev Lynn. Yes, prom queen wave. No, yes, the queen wave. Buzz Noe, Pamela Bailey, our lead practitioner, and Marcia and Spencer Geagan. Not that they're married. Marcia Beebe, yes, and Spencer Geagan from behind the scenes. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you Monday on meditations, and also next week, also in our Sunday service. Mwah! I love and bless every single one of you. God is, I am. It's the only way it can be, because that is the truth. And so it is, and that's the way it is. Peace out. Namaste. Bliss, blessed day, as Lynn says. Have a bliss, blessed day.